ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah.
Let me give you an example of Umar bin Al Khattab. Umar bin Al Khattab, one of the best Muslims in the history of Islam. And Prophet Muhammad mentioned him as one of the people who will go to heaven, and Allah blessed them. And there are very few that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ mentioned that some people will go to heaven. Allah has given him that. One of them is Umar bin Al Khattab. Umar bin Al Khattab was one of the main enemies of Islam. As you know, the Meccans, when Prophet Muhammad came with a message about believing one God who has no partner whatsoever, the Meccans didn't like that at all. And they start to fight Islam with all they have and all power they got. They were fighting Islam so strongly. And they said, how could you say something that our family never told us? My parents never showed me such a thing, never told me such a thing. You're coming with something new that not our family has said. You're trying to create miscorruption, trying to create corruption between each other. So Prophet Muhammad was saying, there's only one God who has no partners. So they used to say, you made all gods one, just one God, and who will take care of the rain, and who will take care of the sun to come up, and who will take care of the moon to go down, and who will take care of everything, who will take care of our life. You need one God can take care of everything, and it didn't make no sense to them that God doesn't have gods. And in every religion, I would say, except Islam, that you'll see partners with God. Islam is the only religion in the world that says there is only one God and the creation. There is nothing in between. There is God and the creation of God. Anyway, going back to the Quran and Umar bin Al Khattab. Umar bin Al Khattab was one of the main people who hate Islam so much. And this story tells you what the Quran did to him when he listened to the Quran. One day, he said, I had enough with this man about Prophet Muhammad. So he took his sword and he went to kill Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. And he was so mad. He was walking in the street with his sword. And Umar bin Al Khattab, he was one of the strongest people in Mecca. One of the strongest people in Mecca. So he was taking his sword and he was walking in the street, going to Prophet Muhammad's house to kill him. So one man saw him so mad. He says, where are you going, Umar? He says, I'm going to kill Muhammad. And he says, don't worry about Muhammad, go worry about your sister. She just became Muslim. He was shocked when he heard this. And he looked at him, he says, what? My sister became Muslim? So he took his sword and switched his route. Instead of going to Prophet Muhammad, he took the other direction to go to his sister. He was so mad. He went to his sister and he started knocking the wood. He was a very strong man. He was knocking on the wood, on the door. The doors back then were very huge doors. And he was so strong that people, when he knocked on a door, people will know that he is Umar. This is how strong he was. He was shaking the whole house when he knocks on someone's door. So his sister and her husband were sitting down and reading Quran. So Umar knocked on the door. So his sister opened the door. She said, hi Umar. He said, I heard you became Muslim. Did you become Muslim? She said, yes. Then he slapped her so hard that the blood was coming out from her mouth. And then he went in and he took her husband, got him on the ground, and he started beating him up. Then, while he was beating her husband up, his sister had a sheet of paper that it has Quran in it. So it fell down from her. So he said, what's in your hand? Give it to me. Then she said, no, I'm not giving it to you because you're not clean. And in Islam, we believe that if someone been with his wife, he should take a shower. Back at the time of Prophet Muhammad, they rarely used to take a shower before Islam. So Islam was, for them, taking a shower, they have to heat the water, take it outside, and then they take a shower in a certain spot. That's a long process. It's not like now where we just turn the water hot and inside the house and we just take a shower in 5 minutes. Back then it was a huge step. So he was so mad, he said, give me the sheet. She said, no, I'm not giving it to you. Go take a shower first. So he could have taken it and somehow he went and took a shower. And then he came. He said, give it to me now. So she gave him the sheet. And the sheet was saying, this is the verses that I will mention to you. This is exactly what Omar read. It says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم طه ما أنزلنا عليك القرآن لتشقى. Taha is one of the Prophet Muhammad's names. The first verse says Taha ما أنزلنا عليك القرآن لتشقى. We haven't sent the Quran so you have a hardship. إلا تذكرة لمن يخشى. Only for people who want to know the truth. تنزيلا ممن خلق الأرض والسماوات العلى. It came down from the one who created the earth and the skies. الرحمن على العرش استوى. The creator who's on his chair, he said. له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وما بينهما وما تحت الثرى. He has the skies and the earth and what's in between and what's under the sands. وإن تجهر بالقول فإنه يعلم السر وأخفى. And if you say what you feel, he knows what's inside you and he knows what's coming out of you. الله لا إله إلا هو له الأسماء الحسنى. Allah, there is no God but God, and He has all the beauty names. These were the verses in a sheet. It says, طه ما أنزلنا عليك القرآن لتشقى إلا تنزيلة لمن يخشى إلا تنذرة لمن يخشى تنزيلا ممن خلق الأرض والسماوات العلى الرحمن على العرش استوى له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وما بينهما وما تحت الثرى وإن تجهر بالقول فإنه يعلم السر وأخفى الله لا إله إلا هو له الأسماء الحسنى. When he read this, his eyes was getting watery. And he says, where's Muhammad? She said, why? Then he said, I want to know where he is. She could tell that he's not as mad as when he took the sheet. He changed. And she said, you promised me that you won't harm him. He says, I promise you that I won't harm him. I just want to know where he is. So she told him about the place he's in. Umar bin Al Khattab went to Prophet Muhammad and knocked on the door. Prophet Muhammad was sitting with some gathering. Prophet Muhammad says, this is Umar. Let me take care of him. Nobody get up. So Prophet Muhammad opened the door and he says, isn't it time for you, Umar, to become Muslim? So Umar says, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. I bear witness there is no God but God, and I bear witness that you, Prophet Muhammad, are the messenger of God. What's the reason? Why did Umar, after he was going with his sword to kill Prophet Muhammad, from a couple of verses he read, he changed completely and he became Muslim. And later, he not only became Muslim, he became one of the Muslims in the history. A small, tiny example of about Umar changing behavior. He didn't only change in believing, he changed his behavior completely. Umar, before Islam, used to beat his wife. You know, if his wife spoke back to him, he would beat her up badly. She could be bleeding. And as you saw in a story that I just gave you, it was very simple for him to slap his sister, and he slapped her so hard that the blood came from her mouth. That's how he used to treat the woman, and it was very simple, and he never apologized for her. After Islam, this man completely changed.